Okay. So Obama himself. I just this one's just on my mind because I just went to Chicago last weekend. Um, so I think I saw some stuff about Obama's like presidential center while I was there. So it was just kind of on my mind. I saw this video pop up. It says what to expect from the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. What are my thoughts? What do I think it's going to have? I think I know what it's going to leave out. I think it's going to leave out the like sheer number of like death and destruction that he rained upon Muslims in the Middle East through drone warfare. I think it'll probably leave that out. I think it'll probably leave out how the disappointment that he caused from his change campaign not being fulfilled led directly to the collapse of liberalism and the rise of MAGA fascism. They'll probably leave that out as well. But anyway, let's see what is actually in it in this video. We'll see what's going on here.
Getting a first look inside the new Obama Presidential Center, which officially opens its doors on Juneteenth, right? June 19th. The $850 million center is more than 19 acres, and it's located on Chicago.
Ugh, hope. We're like, nope.
Chicago's south side. It covers both the political and personal realms of the former president. Features a new public library, an NBA regulation-sized basketball court, a playground.
Okay. Now, I think that I'm probably going to frustrate a lot of people. I probably already have with my coverage so far. In that, obviously I'm not a huge fan of Obama. He governed like a neoliberal hack. Like he directly led to like the creation of Obamacare and the destruction of like a better future when it comes to healthcare, right? Like Obamacare was the Republican the Republican policy. It's a private public partnership that creates a shit ton of bureaucracy to give a bunch of money, like a handout, to like health insurance companies, right? Like that this is like the current hellscape that we are living through is partially like when it comes to like healthcare in America is partially the fault of Obama. And then also like all the things that I already mentioned at the front, the things that I'll give him credit for are the JCPOA. And so the nuclear deal with Iran, which obviously was a better situation than we're currently in, and the normalization with Cuba, I thought that was good. I thought generally he was a good speaker. Although he wielded that good speakership for evil in my particular opinion. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what else is in here. The thing that made me a little bit annoyed though was the basketball hoop. That's one of those things where it's like I get frustrated with politicians who try to be overly folksy or overly like I'm just one of you guys, like that kind of stuff. That kind of annoys me a little bit too, but obviously it's not the worst thing in the world that he did.
Garden and an auditorium. CBS News national correspondent Lana Zak had the chance to tour the library last weekend and joins us with more. So Lana, let's just start broad. What were some of your takeaways?
You know, it's so interesting to go to a museum of recent history that you lived. I had covered these camps.
Obama is also a legacy whore too. Like that's the only thing that he cares about is his legacy. And I honestly like, while people like him, I think like he is like generally speaking viewed as like popular. I think that his legacy isn't going to be good in the long run personally. I think that his legacy is going to be exactly what I said at the beginning. It will be the last time anybody believed in change, right? Before MAGA fascism took over. The failure to create the economic conditions to stave off fascism, right? Like the advancement of neoliberalism and the end, like the dying era of liberalism. And he's not like the person who killed it. But he is like the last person who like just was an overt like centrist corporate like liberal who like who is capable. Like I think I don't know. We'll see what the future holds, I guess, because it really just depends on what direction our country goes, I think. But I think either way, whether we become a fascist or we actually get people into office that like materially uplift the working class in a way to stave off fascism, I still think that the analysis from historians will have to reflect the reality of like what neoliberalism did to our country and the policies that the policies that were perpetuated by neoliberals, like what that did to our country and how it led us to such terrible times. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what his actual legacy is in the future. But I'm kind of torn in my head of whether he will be fondly remembered or negatively remembered. I don't know.
Campaigns, and immediately when you go in there, it feels like you are transported back in time. And so to experience that and to experience all the ways in which you felt different in that moment, the museum it does a very good job of tapping into that. And I brought along my children, and
I also kind of hate this too, by the way. I hate this idea of creating of a person creating their own library for like whitewashing their legacy, right? I think this is a normal tradition amongst presidents, as far as I'm aware. But I don't like it. I don't think that you should be able to. I don't know if they're using public funds or if he's doing this privately. I don't know how that works. I don't like it being created and being influenced by the person themselves. If you're going to have a historical museum of a person or individual, I think it should come a lot later on. Like, it shouldn't be a part of building your legacy. It should be a reflection back on, like, because only history and time will tell how Obama's legacy will actually be remembered. And I think it's only once that time has told that story, then we can actually like create an accurate sort of like historical understanding of him. And I just think that this is straight up like, it's just like obviously just an attempt by these people to like frame, like write their own history before it's actually been analyzed. Like, that's, I don't know. That's kind of like, there's a lot of thoughts going through my head, and it's not super coherent right now. I'm pretty sure, but I think that like, that's another thing that's just really annoying to me.
The twins were young little toddlers running around at times at the White House as I was covering the administration. And
do you remember when one of them smoked weed or something, and then Fox News had a field day with that shit? That was a funny story.
Son was in my belly at one point. And
what's it say? Unconstrained convention by what is... This is impossible to read. By what is hat ought to where in this our first steps be is new. This must wrap around or something, right? Like, this can't be the whole text. This is not a good formation of text, by the way. This is impossible to read just like by itself, let alone the fact that I would have to walk back and forth to like read it. I don't understand this at all.
To tell them about this history, that they were there in different ways for parts of this. It was
Did they
really
recreate the ball or the president's office? Like, why? You can already go visit the president's office. You understand that, right? You can go to the White House and you can go visit it yourself. Like, you don't have to go to this recreation of it. Maybe they're like, oh, Trump's one is too gaudy now, we need to make our own. Back when it was diplomatic and respectable.
That they were there in different ways for parts of this. It was really interesting and such an immersive experience. In particular, my kids really enjoyed looking at the dioramas and how it sort of pulls you into the White House experience. They enjoyed looking at Michelle Obama's dresses. And then really so many of the people in the museum love that experience.
Yes, we can. Remember that? Apparently the answer is no, we can't.
Experience, and they actually queued up to go into the replica of the Oval Office and to sit behind the Resolute desk, not the actual one, but a replica, obviously, and have their pictures taken and feel like they are part.
Did he get a Nobel Peace Prize? Dear God. What a joke. What a fucking joke. In 2009, President Obama was surprised to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his stated commitment to diplomacy and the progress that he represented to people around the world. So for being black, I guess he got the Nobel Peace Prize. The reason I say it is a joke is because he like increased drone strikes an insane amount. Like he's a war criminal, just like every fucking president. Like no American president should ever get the Nobel Peace Prize. Maybe someday there will be one that like actually deserves it. But as far as I'm aware, no American president should have ever gotten a Nobel Peace Prize.
Taken and feel like they are part of that moment in history and part of that administration. It was really a very interesting experience. And from the exterior of the building, you don't necessarily know what to think because it's an imposing structure that just sort of it juts out of this
how much money did this shit cost?
Of space.
1 second, I gotta find out how this is paid for. How are presidential libraries paid for? Unique public-private partnership. Well, okay, Obama loves that shit, as evidenced by Obamacare. Funded through a unique public-private partnership, the construction of the library is funded entirely by private donations, while the daily operation, staffing, and maintenance are funded by federal taxpayers through the National Archives and Records Administration, NARA. Okay, so it's privately funded for the actual, like, building, like the actual space itself, but it's publicly funded for the long time costs of it, I guess. Interesting.
And it has quotes printed on the side, and
unreadable
there are no
quotes,
windows except for this one big one, and so you don't really know what to expect until you.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate this design. I hate it. It's even if this wasn't something that because like I said, I'm not a big fan of presidential libraries in general. Even if this was just an art museum or something, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good design. The bottom looks like any office, right? The base of the building looks like any office. And then you just have this big ass rock on it with unreadable text. I don't know. I don't like it.
You walk in there and then really you're transported back.
The museum is on the south side of Chicago. Why was that location important?
Chicago.
Well, that if you've followed President Obama, you know how important Chicago is to him, how that was his adopted town. And we actually heard from Valerie Jarrett, who served as
well, he don't live there no more. I think he lives in D.C. now, right? Where does Obama live? Yeah, Washington, D.C. This is another thing. I don't like people who, I don't like people who claim, claim what? Like, I guess, I don't think that he should be able to lay claim to Chicago anymore. He fundamentally has left Chicago. Like he doesn't live there anymore. I wish that if he wants to do one, he should do it in Washington, D.C. Because in my mind, I feel like he's kind of he abandoned Chicago to some extent.
An advisor to the president, and also is the CEO of the foundation. So take a listen.
He didn't want it to be simply a time capsule of his time in office. He wanted it to be a living, breathing, engaging location where people from across the street or around the world would feel welcome, would feel safe, would feel engaged, inspired, and motivated to bring about change in their own lives. And he wanted to do that through storytelling.
Change, but not too much change, right? Right, people? I think that's his main, I think that would be his main his main legacy. At the very least, it's going to be change, but not too much change.
As you know, he's a big storyteller, and he believes fundamentally that ordinary people can do extraordinary things.
And for ordinary people and the people across the street, there were lots of folks who were invited in this early sneak preview to come take a listen or come take a look. So take a listen to what one resident had to say.
I think it was intentional for him to really give a love song, to the community that raised him and allowed him to be a community organizer. So I think it's profoundly impactful to have it here.
Sorry. He's a traitor. He's a traitor to community organizers. He abandoned them. He used them in order to propel himself to higher office. And then he didn't do anything like to govern for people like community organizers. Like, okay, whatever. I'm getting too heated now. I think that people, I get like, I just get frustrated with this whole process with presidential libraries, with Obama. I don't know. I'm over it.